Happy holidays, everyone. It is the Dinglemancer here, and today I have two announcements I would like to share with you. The first is that we are going to be holding the first ever Octave Game Jam in January, and it's going to run for the entire month, so it should give you a decent amount of time to make a small little game or just a demo with the Octave game engine. It's going to be a very casual game jam, so we're not going to have any rankings or awards. It's mostly just an excuse to encourage people to experiment with Octave and to collaborate with others and share information, share knowledge. During this game jam, I will be dedicating as much time as I can to helping other people out with their game entries. So make sure you join the Octave Discord and don't be afraid to ask questions or ask for help. And yeah, lastly, there aren't really any rules for this jam aside from one, you need to use Octave to make the game, and two, you need to have your game fit the theme of the jam, which will be announced at the start. So this year, why not challenge yourself to make 3D homebrew games with Lua using Octave? And even if you don't end up submitting anything, I think it'd still be a good idea to give it a try and see what you can do with it. And special thanks to Sheriff Tumbleweed for setting up the game jam. And also shout out to everyone in the Octave Discord, especially the OGs who keep the lights on, and everyone who posts art and music. It is really inspiring to see, so thank you for that. Keep it up. The second announcement is that Alpha 4 has been released, the new version of Octave. And so this update, it's not huge, there aren't a ton of features, but it is pretty important because it adds 2 player controller scripts, which should help developers getting started with Octave. Usually the player controller script is the toughest thing and the biggest hurdle for people to get over when starting a project in Octave. So this should simplify things a lot, or at least provide a starting point for you. We have a first-person controller script, and so there's actually 2 ways of controlling this. You have twin stick controls, which is more like a more modern first-person shooter style, where you use left stick for movement and right stick for turning the camera. But then you also have a tank mode, which will be useful on GameCube, where you could use the C stick, but I think traditionally games usually just use the analog stick on the left. So anyway, this controller script would be great for anyone who wants to make like a walking simulator or a shooter. And then we also have a third-person controller script, and this is going to be for people that want to make 3D platformers or similar. This script also has 2 modes of control. You either have twin stick mode, where the C stick or the right stick on the new 3DS will control the camera and the left stick does the movement, or you have follow cam mode, which works like a more traditional retro 3D platformer, where the camera just kind of follows the player, and you can use the L button to recenter the camera if you need to. The demo levels also feature 3 interactive things you can do. One is like these little jump pads. If you hit those, it'll boost your character up. There's also a switch you can press to turn the lights off, and there's also a little button you can press to spawn boxes. And so these 3 scripts just give you some ideas of how you would interact with the player controller using other objects. Okay, real fast, I'm just going to go through some of the new features in Octave version Alpha 4. We have a new Octave logo now. Thank you, Overcooked Chips, for making that. There is a asset field autocomplete contributed by Carson Compin, so it should make it a lot easier for selecting what assets you want to assign to properties. We also have experimental CMake support now, thanks to Marty. I've only tested it on Linux. I think it only works on Linux, but I actually needed to use that when I was setting up CLion for Linux development, so thank you, Marty. You can now import textures from BMP, TGA, and JPEG image formats, and also you can import meshes from FBX and OBJ format. More than one mesh can also be imported from a single file, and also meshes can have more than one material on them. When you import, they will still be separated into different meshes when you actually get into the engine, but if you need to, you can always create a scene that just combines all of them together to make it easy to drop anywhere. I reintroduced the scene import feature, which allows you to import a whole scene from a GLTF or DAE file, and this will place the nodes where they need to be based on where they are in the file in your scene. So it can be very convenient if you like doing your workflow in Blender, for instance, and then exporting everything in one batch there. Modified assets will now be marked with an asterisk to indicate that they have unsaved changes, which is very useful because sometimes you make a change to material and you forget about it and it never gets saved. So this should make it obvious that, hey, you have changes that need to be saved. Skeletal mesh animations are listed in the properties panel now, so you don't have to remember or guess what the animation names are. A go to and save button is now visible in the properties panel to make it easier to save or go to an asset when you're inspecting it. And there's been a slight rework to texture properties and materials, so it will cause the properties panel to be less cluttered and easier to work with. Also, triangle collision is enabled by default on imported meshes. And lastly, there is an interface scale option added, so if you're on like a 4K display, you can scale up the editor ImGUI UI and make it so you can actually read it. So yeah, those are the main features of Alpha 4, and now that Alpha 4 has been released, I feel like Octave is in a much more stable place, and I feel like now is probably a great time to try doing a game jam. So in December, be on the lookout for a couple of tutorial videos and also a Linux Flatpak release of Octave. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one, and I look forward to seeing you at the game jam in January. Take care.